guys, Robert Allen, Sacred Seeds Hemp Farm, and welcome to phase 2 of 3 of the harvesting process here on our very first crop. So before we got to harvest, a few days as they dried out, we kept going through and tapping all these leaves and seeds off to get us a nice clean start for the harvest. And then on to the stripping, which is hands down the most labor intensive part of harvesting hemp, based on my opinion. And the key to this is to make sure that things are crispy dry, because boy, if they're the least bit green, or even if the humidity is too high and they're moist, it's quite a chore. I mean, it's quite a chore even when they're dry, but you definitely want to get them as crispy as you can and get as many hands in there as possible. So as you see, we just kind of stripped them down straight into the floor. We had plastic down, which was a little quicker and easier than trying to strip them into a tub, I think. And we just let the buds pile up. And once we got a nice little spot cleared where we could work, we just literally used brooms to move the buds down into the center and get the little stuff with the leaf blowers. And then once we got a nice jump on it, we had about half of the house harvested. We started putting them inside these wire mesh frame baskets, which worked out really great because they were exactly the same size as the hopper feed on the thrasher, and they're really lightweight. So, and speaking of which, here's our seed cleaner and thrasher that we borrowed from Bobby and Steven. A big thank you to those guys, and Joey as well, for the use of the trailer. And this machine requires 220, and we didn't really have a 220 outlet, so we just went and bought a 30 amp breaker and ran some wire and made our own outlet for it. Then off to the thrashing. So there I am feeding the buds in, and it's just a pretty simple but very effective machine. Some paddles that turn and some air that blows and separates the plant matter from the seeds. And we just kind of run it through once. The biomass was the stuff you saw us dump in the wheelbarrow, and there I'm dumping seeds to go back through one last time to try to get them clean as possible. And there's kind of what we're shooting for right there. Look at those beautiful babies. And you can see some of the larger stems were a little too heavy for the air to blow out, so there's another process of cleaning those out that we'll get into in a minute. But we got a lot of seeds coming out and a lot of biomass, and this biomass is premium good stuff. I mean, it was organically grown and the aroma is just wonderful. I hope we can find a good home for that biomass. But there's what the seeds look like coming out, and let's venture on over to house 2, where they are just finishing up the stripping over here and getting ready to move everything down into a workable position where we can get them filled up into the baskets and on their way to the thrasher. The harvest took the better part of a day, 10 to 11 hours from start to finish. And basically what we did was we took the biomass after it had been run through once, and we spread it all out and let it dry by closing off the louvers and just shutting the house down and let it just bake in the sun. It was well over 140 degrees in there for quite a while. And give it a stir once in a while and try to get it all dried out, because you don't want to send anything sticky or green through a thrasher if you can avoid it. And then we went back and just ran the biomass through again one last time, pick up any seeds that may have just been a little too sticky the first time, and turned out to be worth our time and effort. I think we got another 40 to 60,000 seeds back out of the biomass. So that was about the bulk of it. We got, looked like almost 2 full buckets, but by the time you clean them, which is what this machine is for, this is the little seed cleaner, and on top there is a hopper where the seeds go in, and just beneath that is a little bin with a sort of like a cylinder with some rods sticking out that stir. And then this little piece over here is part of the vacuum that sucks out the dust and biomass that's in there with the seeds. So we just work them in small quantities at a time. That cup full is a pretty good load for this machine if you want it to work efficiently. It has different settings and whatnot, but that button you saw me push in there sort of a time-released vacuum. That's how long it spins in vacuums. And then once that process is done, it releases the seeds, and they run through a series of trays, just 2 trays, a larger screen on top and then a smaller screen on the bottom. And it just uses this agitating motion to keep things rolling, and the little slots will obviously catch all the cracked and seeds that are too small or any debris that may have made it through that point. And once you do about 5 or 6 cups of those, we just go ahead and dump that whole seed batch right back through, adjust the settings for a little longer vacuum and a little finer filter, and run them through one last time to get up a nice batch of clean seeds. And there you have it. There's probably, I don't know, 50,000 really nice hemp seeds that are done with the cleaning process and ready to go into the bin there. So that's what we're shooting for, boys. Nice clean seeds and lots of them. These are some beautiful looking seeds. And the aroma is really nice too. So there again, there's the before bucket. See, it has a lot of debris left in it, and then the final product. And then of course there's a little bit of maintenance and cleaning where you have to clean out these trays. The majority of what you see there in that second grate are small seeds, and we're not sure if those are viable seeds or not, but we're not throwing anything away at this point. And then we cleaned up the thrasher real good, used a leaf blower to get the bulk of the stuff off, and then we had to use a lot of elbow grease and terry cloths and a little bit of alcohol to get all that resin off there. That stuff is super sticky. But got that all cleaned up, and then the following day we just bundled up the stalks and everything. We're not throwing anything away. Hemp is an amazing plant. It's the strongest fiber, natural fiber known to man, and there's a purpose for everything. So at this point, we're not throwing away anything. We're going to bundle these up, store them in a cool, dry place until we find a market for those. So if you're looking for some good organic hemp fiber, give me a call. And then the biomass we're storing in these baskets you saw, and then we're using the plastic to regulate the moisture control. If it starts drying out, we can open them up while we're watering, let some water in, and put the bags over to hold the moisture in. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We still have to do some counting and bagging, and then we have to get a couple of certificates, germination test and feminization test. And of course we'll have the total seed count in the upcoming video. But real quickly, I want to thank everyone who helped this harvest happen. Once again, Bob and Steven for the use of the thrasher and cleaner, and then Jeannie and Jason and Carrie and Blake, Nicholas and Jace and Camellia, Tony, Flavio, Talina, Ramon, JR, and Caleb, and anybody else I may have missed. Thanks a bunch for helping out. And for all those people who said they were going to help but didn't show up, no worries. We'll catch you on the next one. All right. I appreciate you guys watching our videos and sharing this journey with us. And we're going to finish up probably a couple more videos to end this season. All right. It's Robert Allen, Sacred Seeds Hemp Farm. Peace.